Hey guys, Brrzerker here. Hola! A lot of people ask for this build. Well, I mean, like 3 people, but here it is. First of all, I want to say there are no broken interactions here, but there are some interesting synergies I want to show you with some tips on how to improve this build. Let's start with the gear. The only weapon we're using is the Queen's Cry. It deals frost spell damage, and hitting an enemy with its bullets has a chance to call down a frost meteor that deals 300% frost splash spell damage to enemies and also to the player. This means any bonuses like spell damage, area damage, frost damage will make it stronger. That's why we're using on a spellcast increased frost damage by 30% for 5 seconds. Although it says 5 seconds, we will be constantly proccing this enchantment. These are not the best rings for this build, but they have spell damage bonuses, so they still help. If you want to deal more damage, the best rings you can get would be spell damage, spell radius, spell crit chance, and while guard is not full, these effects will increase by 100%. That would be the best for this build. As a shield, we are using the Cursed Wit, that when it's depleted, it gives us up to 100% more damage the closer we are to enemies. That combined with Glass Cannon, we will get this extra damage pretty much all the time. We are using the Cape of Tides armor. When you crit with this armor, there is a chance to release a Nova that can apply a soaked effect. This effect debuffs enemies and they take 50% more frost and lightning damage. So this armor makes the Queen's Cry frost damage stronger, and thanks to our spell and imbued weapon, the Queen's Cry gets 10% bonus lightning damage that is also increased even further by our enchantment. That's not all, because the lightning spell we're using is a fortifying sigil that increases all the damage we deal inside the spell or the dome by 20%. That's not all either. This sigil spell can crit and can proc the soaked nova. So that means we have a huge radius that will debuff enemies. I mean, if you can get this enchantment and this spell, after casting a spell, your gun gets 30% crit chance for a short duration. That means we get more crits and more soaked effects. So applying effect to enemies is gonna be so easy. Now, it's important you have a Spellshot power and a +1 high threat count with this armor, so we can get 11 spell weaving stacks. All of this will increase the Queen's Cry damage by around 150%. And also, as an armor bonus, try to get gang crit chance to apply the soaked effect even easier. As a second spell, we are using a Frost Buff Miser because it scales with the spell damage, it's perfect for this build, and it also has Sap that gives us a bonus 80% spell damage. The enchantment here is on a spell cast, all damage dealt is increased by 50% for 10 seconds. That's pretty good. As a third spell, we have a empowering sigil that will attach to the player and will insta-freeze mobs. That combined with Icebreaker, it will destroy enemies. This spell can also proc the soaked effect, and believe me, it's much better if you have spell radius bonuses. We're using a sacrificial skip amulet. It's pretty good for survivability, and also because it gives us 30% more frost damage and spell shot power. The best bonus you can get here is all damage dealt. I didn't get it, but still, it's very powerful. By the way, most of our enchantments are on a spellcast. Even though these enchantments have a time limit, we will be spamming them thanks to Sever the Thread and all the gun crit chance we have so far. In our skill tree, we have a spell sniper. This will increase the crit chance of our dome, or I mean the fortifying sigil, so we get more chances to apply the soaked effect. We have magic bullets. Interestingly, this works with the Queen's Cry, and it actually makes it do more damage. Why? I really don't know. Just ask Gearbox, I guess. We have predictable. It gives us a bunch of reload speed. We have just warming up. Plus our 11 spell weaving stacks, it give us around 44% more fire rate. We have high threat count. That with our armor, we have in total 11 spell weaving stacks. We have glass cannon that give us 30% more spell damage. And so we're using the curse wit, we will have a extra 100% more damage pretty much all the time. We have Invid Weapon, I already talked about it. We have Sever the Threat that combined with our enchantments that give us 30% gun crit chance and our 30% gun crit chance from our armor. Basically, we will be spamming domes all the time. We don't need Font of Mana because we already have Sever the Threat. Mage Armor, it actually goes against what we want, that is our having our shield depleted all the time, so we don't really need this. We already have a lot of reload speed thanks to predictability, so we don't need Warcaster. Double the Knot right now is broken with attacking spells. We don't really have that, so we don't need it. And one slot, one kill give us gun damage, but I tested it and it doesn't improve the Queen's Cry performance in any way, so we don't need this. Here we have 20% more frost damage for our gun. Icebreaker give us 30% damage against slowed and frozen enemies. The always give us 30% more damage the closer we are to enemies. An armor defense has synergy with our curse width. Blood Frenzy is pretty good for our survivability because it restores 9% of our maximum health. Relentless Rage allows us to stay safe for your soul for more time. And it's the only way we have to proc Rage of the Ancients. This gives us 10% more frost damage, but we are not really using this class fit. In hero points, I chose Village Hero. I maxed Strength for more crit damage. I maxed Dexterity for more crit chance. And the rest of the points went to Constitution to have more HP and more ward. In the mid rank, well, I don't have really nothing crazy here. It's pretty normie. I tried to max frost damage and lightning damage, but besides that, there's nothing more. I have not maxed melee spell gun damage because I think I've heard that you can stack them infinitely, and that will ruin. That basically will ruin my build, and I really don't want that, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, that's the whole thing. If you have any questions or something, let me know. That's the whole video. Thank you for watching and see you in the comment section. Bye bye.